will be the Honorable Clive Gisairo, member for Kitutu Masaba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And would like to thank Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi for bringing such a motion to this House. As most of the speakers have said, land is a very emotive topic. Honorable Mbadi addressed me here and said he knows how my people are having problems with land fragmentation. The main issue here, when it comes to land, I would like us to look at it from a different angle. This country needs to invest in education. The more our people will be educated, the more the need for owning small pieces of land will diminish. I have many friends from other continents, and I've never once ever had one of them telling me that he owns pieces of land. That is a behavior in Africa. Madam Speaker, I remember my father used to tell me, and my brothers, because we are 6 sons, my sons, I don't have land to give you. The only piece of land I can give you is education. And true, me and my siblings, we've never looked at what size of land our father had. This country needs to invest in education. The moment we invest in education, these young men and women will go out there to fend for themselves and not looking back to go fragment the little that there is. With continued fragmentation, Honorable Speaker, we continue to make the food shortage situation even worse. So while we all claim to own a piece of land, we all struggle to feed our families. Let this government invest a lot in education, and therefore the pressure on land will go down. It's not a must for someone to own land, and that is the message you should have to our people. By not owning land does not make you be a failure in life. There are many ways of owning assets, and land is not the only asset. Madam Speaker, for our land to be productive, it has to be of substantive sizes. I come from Gusii region. We have rain, the soils are fertile, but we no longer can feed ourselves. Because when I grew up, every home could produce enough to feed itself and something extra to take to the market. That is not the case today. In Gusii right now, very few homes can produce enough to feed themselves. Let us change the mentality of our people, and that is the only way we can move this country forward. So on the motion, I don't see the issue of regulating the maximum being a problem, but the issue on the minimum will be a problem unless we have a mentality shift. Another thing, I really was very proud to be a Kenyan in the last election. That for once, we did an election, very competitive, and we came out of it without the normal post-election violence. If this trend continues, it will make Kenyans to be free to go and own land outside their ancestral homes. And this will also help in reducing the pressure on land. So we, as politicians and political leaders, and the government, need to ensure that the trend that we saw in the last election continues. That is the only way the Aba Gusii and any other community will be free to go to Kitale, North Rift, and own land without the fear that after every 5 years, these may be taken away from me. So the political environment also determines on how land is subdivided. Because if I fear that if I own land out there, I face a risk of being ejected and what is mine being taken because I don't belong there, then there is the pressure of me going back home to insist that what my father left, I must get my share, so that in case the unfortunate happens, I have a fallback plan. So we as the leaders also, let us live as Kenyans. Let us show our people that you can live anywhere. You can own property anywhere. Because some of these people who come from areas where they do farming can bring those skills to areas where there are not those skills, and food production will improve. Lastly, Madam Speaker, the housing issue. While we are talking about housing in Nairobi and the big cities, the government needs to take these housing programs to all parts of this country. The moment we have affordable housing, people will stop insisting on getting small pieces of land to build a home for their family. With affordable housing, people will be encouraged to live together and leave most of the land for production. Madam Speaker, I sit by supporting this motion, and I hope we as the leadership will do our role back in the community to make people understand that land is not the beginning nor the end of life or success. Thank you, Madam Speaker.